The Origins of Life, G Creation, Part 9. Right, so here we've got plant cells. We've seen this familiar pattern with the black spot in the centre. So, in the same sense of how it looks like an eye, or it looks like the tree stump, all that kind of stuff. Obviously the role of a wave with the darkness or the overexposure of the sunlight. So it's both really, because it's the sun and the ocean. So we've seen it like that. And also it's got all dots inside as well. But so yeah, it's like, because what everything is consciousness. Everything that's divine is consciousness. Anyway, everything that's of this realm is divine, basically. Anything that's introduced to this realm, which is, like like AI, for example. You know what I mean? That's not of this realm. You know what I mean? But when we see these kind of patterns and all these kind of things, like the golden ratio, all that kind of stuff, like the image of man, or of God, God made man in God's image, didn't he? So that Fibonacci spiral, you can see that fits with every living creature, whether it's a plant, animal, or whatever, you know what I mean? So So, so nature, it's all seen and all conscious at the same time. You know what I mean? It's gonna, like, you're never alone because you're surrounded by yourself in a way. It's like, as you're a micro of a macro, it's gonna, like, you're sharing yourself with the realm. And the realm's conscious. It's part of you, or you're part of it. There's a yin and yang towards that in that kind of way. So we got it again. I see, like, the cymatic patterns as well, like the edge of the cells, like how they fit together. It's kind of like how you see the seafloor, or the peaks and troughs in the waves, and all the light pattern that shines through it. It kind of creates that pattern. It depends on, on water, on, temperature of the water and stuff like. If it's rough, you know what I mean, it's going to have a different pattern. But so we've got cross sections of a blade of grass, and it looks like faces, like almost alien or reptilian because of all the scale kind of patterns. Or skull like, you know what I mean? You can see. There's another one here. I probably like the patterns, how it's getting, like a face. I mean, it looks like a face, but it's like, that's like the aspect of, like, the micro and the macro and stuff like. It's like that green moth on last episode. It had two eyes at the top of its head, and then it's got its wings, and then, like, the triangle shape of a moth kind of thing. But it looks like a face looking towards you. Actually, I'll go back and I can show you. It wasn't the last episode. It was the last episode we watched, which was aired tonight, which was a few episodes ago. But yeah, we looked at this one. We could see, like, the water, the green colour of water. Although, you usually reference it to, like, leaves and stuff, but we can see the wave patterns and stuff like. But regardless of that, we've got, like, this face. You know what I mean? You've got, like, the eyes there, and then, like, the eyes look in proportion for that to be, like, its entire head, which is like a repeat of itself. We looked at the tigers, and you could see them when they were drinking out of water, and, like, it looked like an entire head will be like the tiger itself, kind of thing, all of it. And so like you can see how it repeats the information in a way. So like this is a face. So in one sense, is this its actual face? How it'd communicate in a sense and stuff, like with other moths and all that kind of thing. And it has got a face down there as well. Because it will do, but because it now got to be able to discern whether these are just like patterns or actual eyes, which is difficult to tell. Um, So I don't know if there's other examples of how like the whole body is like the face. We did like when we mapped out the face with the horizon, all that kind of thing, and the sun for the eye, and the reflection of the sun, making like your face and stuff, and you turning it sideways. It's like that because like on the following episode we did it for your back, so you can see how your micro and macro is repeated on your own back. So this is like the backup moth, so that's like showing its micro and macro aspect. So in a sense we can relate to this face in a way, and we can communicate with the moth in a sense of how we'd face it to communicate. So you're facing it this way rather than from front. So in a sense, the same thing's going on with like the macro aspect of repeating that information. So you've got like this consciousness, and it's embedded within the plant, so you can't see it from outside as such. You just see a blade of grass. But when you get in this cross section, and you can see, it's like providing evidence that it is conscious. You know. Another one there, kind of more peacock or pine cone kind of style to it. I can't see a face as such, unless that was one eye and that were an eye, like on a bug. But yeah, cross section, a single blade of grass, stained with a microscope. The smiley faces are the channels that water is drawn up through. So we see it. It looks like it's got a face. It's got a third eye as well, smiling. Like the water, it does that like give it a sense of enlightenment, almost like if we were to take magic mushrooms, we'd feel like this blade of grass feels like all the time, you know. Like the grass is always feeling like that, or whenever it's got water. So, I mean, it kind of looks like that Hindu kind of enlightenment in a sense. So it's like the blade of grass is achieving that enlightenment through its experience of what it receives through water. Like plants are kind of, I imagine they're quite different to us in a sense of like, we're more materialistic in a way. You know what I mean? There's like how we integrate with the world, interact with the world, compared to how plants interact with the world. And like how in evolution and stuff, we talk about the trade-off, don't we? So it's like, if one animal's bigger, then the smaller animal will have an advantage in a different way. And so in the same sense that the trade-off between humans and plants, right? And I kind of think that they've got the trade-off goes in their favour in their psychic ability. So if they're like in this stage of enlightenment, like throughout their entire lives, then when you walk near them, their auric field can pick up everything it needs to know about you. You know what I mean? About whether you're a negative energy or whatever. You know what I mean? You might be carrying burdens and stress and all these kind of things, and it'll be able to pick it up, even if you're not feeling it in your present sense and stuff like that. Say if you've gone for a walk, you're out and you're relieved of any stress or whatever and stuff like that. But the plants will still know. It's in your history, it's in your DNA and all these kind of things, and they'll to like just sense it, just like, psychically. Um, like I say, it's like their auric field. It mixes with you. It, like, you go for a walk out in trees and all these kind of things, and you feel a lot better for it. It kind of like it rewires you in a sense. It kind of gets your auric field back into a better function and a state and stuff like. Um, so it's gonna like if we use plants to like guide us to the psychic world and all these kind of things. I mean, outside of like using mushrooms or all that kind of thing. I mean, like just like sitting in its auric field, like with a tree and all these kind of things, and like how people communicate with trees and all these kind of things and stuff like, and how that because they're part of that brain network, and all that brain network, it's all fully connected. And if you become part of it, then you're part of, Earth's psychic energy network and stuff like. We as education pushes away from it, you know what I mean? So does religion in many respects and stuff like. But it depends on religion, I suppose. Um, but yeah, there's a lot to say on it. Like the psychic ability of plants and stuff. Happy. And not as easy to skin that one. Here we are, Mara Mir. So like, there's quite a few examples of them and stuff. And we do differ in different ways and stuff like, but these have got much more of a mushroom aspect to it. You've got the face and then the mushroom above. And then it also looks like it's dropping spores as well. Um, what's this one? So, like, whilst we're on subject in that kind of sense and stuff, how it finds its relevance with the water for all these shapes and expressions and such. And we kind of did cover this before, didn't we? It's like water droplets. So last time we spoke about the chakra, the crown chakra, and all that kind of stuff. Like, um, just as a reminder. But yeah, so like here, all this kind of thing. I mean, your trichomes and cannabis. How they do that same pattern. A shout out to Rough Rods for mentioning these as well. He mentioned them in previous stream. So it's like a droplet of water. It's bounced and, you know what I mean? It's come back down now, whichever way it is, whichever part of time lapse it is. It's full of bubbles. Although, the camera's not very good for quality. So, cannabis, your trichomes, your cuticle, your secretory cavity, disc cells, so on, and all these kind of things. Basal cells, like basalt columns, it's just not got a T there, So also like the micro and the macro, see like how like you got the flat plane within the bubble kind of thing. um, which is an interesting thing. But also like your secretory cavity, so like sacred fluid, you know what I mean, in that kind of way. So it demystifies cannabis in a way and stuff like that kind of thing. The connection to like plants being sacred. Um, and also reproductive systems, you know what I mean, like in reference to like the male and all these kind of things, and like sperm being like that in that kind of sense of how you appropriate it to like pollen and all these kind of things and stuff like these are different under, it's not pollen as such, I don't know. But so yeah, I was seeing it here and stuff like, and water finds that shape, and then like you get your mushroom cup and stuff like, but you still get your droplet of water, being like the highest elevation in this scenario, so it's much more likely to catch the sunlight, you know what I mean, so all the light which gets caught in that water, and then when it comes back into it all and stuff like, so that's why it's like sacred, it's like the sacred storage is stored in the top part of like the trichomes. Your different mushroom shapes and stuff like as well. And your spars. And almost human looking sometimes as well. More of them. And it's in a spiral as well. A little bit. That one's in a spiral. So like a wave shape for one thing. And you, all your faces are... And also it's like lungs, isn't it? How lungs breathe or that kind of thing. The lungs are like sponge, aren't they? But I know there's a cross section. Another cross section. So I wanted to understand I can't remember what I'm gonna say. How I'm gonna word it, but like you know how the water functions and flows and all these kind of things and stuff like. But as you can see, like this, it's like the ribbon when the wave curls and stuff, that kind of thing. Like so, that's what you've got in those senses and stuff. Another cross section of a plant stem. I'm not sure if it's grass, but we've got this repeated kind of pattern. So it looks like a tree stump. You got your centre, and then I will discuss like the tree stump looks like it's got waves. So zoom in a little bit. So each ring is like waves going out to shark kind of thing. So then how that kind of relates to the eyeball and the chakra, the plant cell. So we've got the egg in cross section, we've got the tear shape, oval, the circle in centre, the yellow for sunlight, a micro of macro element of things. So we're talking about the pear shaped, so that's like how the oval aspect is relevant and stuff. So we're seeing it again there. So the yellow being like the sun and the egg, and now we see the sun here, don't we? So the sun being like responsible, follow life, and water, obviously, but because also it could be like the roll-up wave and all that kind of stuff. Like we know that this is the sun, but so another aspect to like the plants, like these cross sections, and it looks like a pathway. How it like leads into distance. And it's not, it's cross section and so it's flat in that kind of way, but how it gives that perspective. So, in the sense of like plants being sacred and what they can offer, if you do meditate with this plant, then it, it it'll take you within yourself. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of like a journey within, you know what I mean? And stuff like. And so there was something I wanted to touch upon. Like speaking about this, all that kind of pattern on flower, other flower. You see, it's like at the tip. So you've got the roll-up wave, all the water shoots out, and then it disperses. So how the flower functions in that kind of way and stuff. So we've got these cross sections. So it follows this spiral and then it creates this star shape in the centre. And so what I'm seeing with this, you've got the time lapse of a wave going through. So as the journey, you know, like we looked at the snail shells and the cone shaped ones have the like spiral and stuff like that kind of thing. And it's like water's recorded all the entire journey of that wave kind of thing and then repeated into that shell. So same thing is going on here, but when we're seeing like each individual row and it's creating these like star points, these triangles, I think that is every time it kind of acknowledges the water going into the ocean. So it's like you've got parts of wave which are the 2-foot wave is cutting into ocean, but you've got other parts of wave which are still turning. So if we followed that little piece, that white area, right, it'll be thick and it'll follow down its spiral to base and stuff kind of thing. If you go through it, I'd have to cut it the other way to show you. This is like cutting the top of it so you can see through that way. But that's like, you know, the thick part at leaf, isn't it? You know, like the stem part at leaf. So that's like coming through this way, but you cut through like this cross section this way, and we're seeing, you know, through it in that kind of sense and stuff like. So we're only seeing a little bit of that, like the other way, and see like the line of it. So it's like you'd see like the entire wave or the entire stem of that leaf. So what's going on is because we've cut at this angle, right? It's picking up the time when the water went in, the 2-foot wave went into water there, and then it's done it again there, then it's done it again there, then it's done it again there. It's finite on these parts because it's there's more to wave than just that one aspect. It's not just the tooth, it's kind of like the entire journey. So like I say, it's a cross section, isn't it? So if we cut it the other way, we'd see, actually, we could, like that, it could, if we cut it across there, we'd see a spiral from top. So like from this section, if we joined on one of those 2-foot waves, we can see the wave itself there. So if you imagine that's a wave, it's going around in a circle. But if that were the wave coming that way in that kind of sense, then you kind of get me in a way. Oops, where am I? So from this perspective, it looks like a tooth's gone into wave, a tooth's gone into water, another tooth, another tooth, another tooth, another tooth, another tooth, and so on. It's creating, so, like I said, the cross section, it just took those, that time span of those times, like that other picture, the time span doesn't exist anymore because we're going in the entire length of a wave. So this is how we're getting this star-shaped pattern, because of each individual tooth, as that gets closer and closer, like the time lapse, like the snail cone, is becoming more in that kind of fashion. You know what I mean? So so how that star shape is relevant for the previous, for that. So it's come out at middle at wave. In, you know, but you see the iris, the eyeball, it's kind of chakra, wave circle, and then that pattern's come out of it. So same there. You've got your stem, which is like the trunk. So the trunk of a tree is like the what we're caught in the tunnel. So that's the tunnel at wave, and then this is coming out of it. So you got this star shape. All other ones are squiggly, as they've lost, like the tooth has gone into wave and into water, and then it starts to disperse and flow out. You know, you see energy kind of. You know, like dilute pop, and you get all those lines before it's fully diluted and mixed. Well, that's what's going on in water, isn't it? All the energy, which is dispersing through that, you know, through what it is between rest of water. So, the two-foot wave goes into water. It kind of creates this pattern. That'd carry on and continue. So, like on a snail, you've got these perfect rings, spiral ring kind of thing, aren't you? Right. So, but this is like the other cross section. So you're seeing it like that moment when it went in, and then the rest of the wave, whilst it's still in air, it's about to become a tooth and come into it. Like I say, it's that cross section. So the time lapse is kind of mixed up a little bit, but it is showing you a star shape. Just external, so we can see like the wave, how it cups over. You know, that's the barrel of the roll and all these kind of things. And again, like the chakra. So a watermelon cut this way. You can see the tunnel of a wave, the spiral. So it's one half. You know what I mean? You put a line down, and then you got like the heart shape. You've also got your tri-star, two of them, six-pointed star. So when we refer back to like the snowflakes with all the intricate patterns and all that kind of stuff, it's like repeating that information. As beetroot, so like your tree rings, but also like your wave rings, also like your eye, you're like looking down the tunnel of a wave. So like the cells, plant cells, your eyes, etc. Tree rings, and then the heart, in that kind of sense, other organs and stuff. A red onion, sliced, you've got your tree rings, and then you've also got like the fresh growing area, which is producing like that yellow colour. So our sun creates that colour. So that's why your eggs are like that and all that kind of stuff. Like, and now it all interrelates in that kind of way. I think that's it. Yeah, that's it for now. I've run out of time anyway, so I'll get on with the next one. It's not it, it's just it for this one. So thank you for watching, and I'll catch you all later. Cheers.